Kathleen Kennedy extended for 3 years. All right, so this isn't too new, but I haven't had a chance to really sit down and talk about it. So I thought I'd make a video and give my thoughts. So this came as a surprise to a lot of people, considering all of the rumors that were floating around for a while about this, that she wasn't coming back and they were looking for someone. Makes me wonder if they couldn't find somebody to fill the shoes, because the damage done to the Star Wars brand is kind of undeniable. No matter where you sit on the fence, the fandom is divided. A lot of people aren't happy. There's clearly a lot of politics being inserted in the movies. I just watched Solo for the first time a week ago, and it was a horrible movie. I arguably think that it's worse in a lot of ways than The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, at least, was kind of, okay, say what you want about it, but at least it felt like a movie, right? From start to finish. It was kind of a mess, but it still felt like a movie that was well edited and put together. Solo felt like just a big turd. There were so many problems with that movie, and man, and this is the person overseeing it. I know she's, done a lot of stuff in the past that people have liked, but there's clearly something going on now. I'm going to go ahead and go through this article and we'll talk about it. So, after the box office disappointment of Solo, A Star Wars Story, the studio plans to expand the universe with new characters introduced in movies and television shows. Kathleen Kennedy reignited her lightsaber. The lead producer and architect of the Star Wars franchise has renewed her contract to remain president of Lucasfilm for another 3 years, according to The Hollywood Reporter. So we're not going to get the final Abrams movie, Star Wars 9, until next year. So that would put us at 2019. This would give her time to finish that movie and possibly start up another trilogy or spin-off. You think if they would extend it longer, so it's almost like they're giving her 2 more movies to kind of figure out what she wants to do. And it's a very costly gamble to do. Very costly gamble, because these movies cost a lot of money. But like I said, this will give her time to finish up Star Wars 9, and I'm guessing one more spinoff. And depending on how those do, I guess we'll see. But it's odd that it's only 3 years. You think you'd have made it a longer deal if you wanted to secure her. The movie is a vote of confidence in Kennedy, who took command of Lucasfilm after Disney's $4 billion acquisition of George Lucas in 2012, and has overseen the relaunch of Star Wars, one of the most revered movie properties in cinematic history. Disney's 4 new Star Wars films have grossed $4.5 billion at the worldwide box office, and merchandising have brought billions more into the studio's coffers. I think the toys were quite down, but you can't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. Force Awakens, Rogue One, and The Last Jedi, though, all had dips on each film. And Last Jedi, though, did well. The Blu-rays didn't do very well. And the film had a huge drop from like the first 2 weekends and on. Of course, they're going to have massive openings and stuff, and that was where it got a lot of its legs, but it's very debatable if that movie was a very big success. Very debatable. All right, but it hasn't always been easy money. Kennedy has had to replace 2 directors on 2 movies, and that were either in production or post. Chris Lord and Phil Miller were fired from Solo, A Star Wars Story on June 20th, 2017. Less than a year before the film's release, Kennedy also effectively replaced Rogue One, A Star Wars Story director Garth Edwards with Helmer Tony Gilroy, although Edwards kept his directing credit. Last year, Colin Trevorrow, who was to be who was to have directed Star Wars 9, was fired and replaced by series helmer J.J. Abrams a week later. So that is one of the reasons why Solo was kind of bad, because they replaced a lot of directors on that movie. It was a mess, and it's very evident in the movie when you watch it that it's a mess. I didn't know Rogue One lost its director too. That's interesting. Kennedy's position is one of the most visible, and her actions have been highly scrutinized in Hollywood due to the immense popularity of the Lucasfilm franchise, which also include Indiana Jones. So it's notable that her renewal follows the summer's Solo: A Star Wars Story, the first big screen box office disappointment for the franchise, grossing only $392 million worldwide, and leading analysts to estimate a loss for the film at $50 million to $80 million or more, in contrast to Jedi and Rogue One, which made a lot more money. Kennedy's deal extension also follows a polarizing reaction to Last Jedi, which sits at 91% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and was flooded with unusually angry fan complaints on social media about key plot choices, me included. Particularly the treatment of Luke Skywalker really irritated me. It was really a slap in the face as someone that's been a fan of the series since, I was a child. To see him treated like that, it was very, very kind of hurtful in a lot of ways. The reaction to Last Jedi and Solo is resulting in a shift in studio strategy. With Disney making plans to slow the output of movies, you can expect some slowdown, Disney CEO Bob Iger told THR in an interview, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make films. Well, obviously, though I think releasing a film every year is a stupid idea. Really stupid idea. The only Star Wars film currently underway is Episode 9, currently shooting in London and due for release in December 2019. Sources told THR that Episode 9 will be the last chapter of chapter installments, with Disney planning on touting it as a selling point in the promotion campaign for the film in this year leading up to its release. Lucasfilm is developing future projects from Game of Thrones creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, as well as potential trilogy from Rian Johnson. Big mistake. Big mistake. His whole pitch was like, there's other galaxies, let's just go there. All right. And they gave him a movie. Excellent decision making, Kathleen Kennedy. That's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. The way that he pissed off fans in his movie, giving him a whole trilogy to make fans mad, really sounds odd. Johnson, however, is currently prepping to shoot a detective thriller that is set to star Daniel Craig. So I find the chapter installments interesting. So does that mean they're not going to have episodes or whatever? They're going to totally break the backbone of the narrative that the movie has sown throughout its history. That's an interesting idea, I guess. I don't quite get that move. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have sci-fi movies come out all the time. You're just going to make a sci-fi movie and slap Star Wars on it? That's kind of stupid in my opinion, but whatever. Sources say that in the near future, Star Wars lies in television, with Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm planning on expanding the universe with new characters in that medium. The shows at this stage include a live-action series by Jon Favreau, which is currently casting, and the animated Star Wars Clone Wars, which actually I'm kind of looking forward to. Both of which will air on Disney's Untitled streaming service, which is set to launch in the second half of 2019. Meanwhile, another animated series, Star Wars Resistance, premieres this month on Disney Channel. Star Wars Resistance looks like a pile of garbage. I'm not looking forward to that at all, and the reaction to it is really bad, to be honest. It just throws into the question, what is Kathleen Kennedy doing, right? She's shown a lot of incompetence when it comes to running Lucasfilm, in my opinion. A lot of incompetence. And when you have so much banking on this brand, right? Disney has more than the movies. The big push for them is that huge, massive theme park they're building for their theme parks. And if the brand is damaged, you're going to hurt that. They make a lot of money at those theme parks, I promise you, more than they see in their movies. So it's a very weird decision that they're doing here. Very weird decision. Lucasfilm is also developing a new Indiana Jones movie, the fifth in the series, starring Harrison Ford and directed by Spielberg. Grandpa Jones. That's what they should call it. Grandpa Jones. He's way too old now to be a swashbuckling anthropologist. I don't quite get this. Just reboot it at this point. I mean, yeah, just reboot it. I don't know. The Crystal Skull was terrible. Horrible movie. After seeing that monstrosity, I don't know if anybody is excited for another Indiana Jones. Kennedy got her first breaks working as an assistant writer for John Milius and then Steven Spielberg, becoming a co-founder of Ambient Entertainment. She has established one of the most inevitable producing careers in Hollywood, with credits on classic blockbusters such as E.T., Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, and Schindler's List. So, I mean, there's no arguing that she has like a career behind her, right? But just lately, I mean, just some people change as they get older, and you know, I don't have any confidence in her after these bumbling steps. She clearly wants to turn it into something that she wants to see done, and she's been firing people left and right. Like, I wonder what Solo was like before she came in and had it gutted and changed and turned into a mess, right? Was it not fitting the narrative that she wants to push? I just find all of this very interesting. So, I don't know. I think Star Wars is done. I think the brand is just going to keep getting damaged more and more. And I don't think there's a lot saving it. Especially some of the choices they want to make about this, you know, let's get rid of the episodic theme. You know, let's take it to a different galaxy. It's just like, you know, you can't take, like I said, you can't just take a sci-fi movie and slap Star Wars on it. It's a certain type of narrative that needs to be told in that universe that we know. That's what people want to see. So this is really weird that they're going to double down on this. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you have faith in Kathleen Kennedy or not? Do you think she'll turn it around, or do you think she'll just turn it into a dumpster fire? Also, if you're enjoying my content, check out my Patreon. Consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, throw a like up if you would, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.